Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and welcome to my channel. I'm here to provide you the best crypto content that I can, including our chart TA, and we're starting with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been stuck in this rising wedge pattern for quite some time. Now, with this rising wedge pattern, what you see here is both higher lows and higher highs, and then you also see decreasing volume, which is what we have right here. So my concern right now is that if Bitcoin breaks through this lower channel here at about 23,300, that it can fall out of the below this channel and then immediately go and retest support at like 20,900 and below that at about 19,000 or so. Now, that's a possibility. I think it's a likely possibility, but Bitcoin doesn't move in a vacuum. And we would also need to see some kind of major event happen. Stocks would have to go down a ton, or we have some more crypto hacks. That's also very possible. And now, in order to drive the price down. Now, and also, this is a short-term assessment of the Bitcoin price. I, of course, always believe that the Bitcoin price will trend higher over time. But for the short and medium term right now, we're kind of stuck in a little bit of a bearish bind, and especially with this rising wedge. In order to break this rising wedge, Bitcoin needs to punch out about above 25,800 or so and push out of this rising wedge and push out strongly with high volume. That would break it, that would shatter it. We'd see a complete total trend reversal, and that would change the story. But for now, I think that it's very possible that we could actually go for a retest of the lows that we've seen throughout July and maybe even in June, and I'd be taking advantage of that opportunity. I'd be very interested in buying more Bitcoin and more ETH as well. Now, if we actually take a look at the weekly volume is decreasing here. And we also have the weekly RSI, which right now is staying at about 36, which isn't very high for Bitcoin at all. The weekly RSI has been incredibly weak. And it just shows you that the demand for Bitcoin right now has not been very strong. And now, I spent a lot of time yesterday and the past couple of days talking about the stable coins and more investors both going into stable coins and Ethereum and altcoins, and there not being a lot of Bitcoin demand. And that's backed up when we see how far the Bitcoin dominance has fallen. So it's fallen all the way from, again, 48% all the way down to 40%, and there's just not a lot of Bitcoin demand. If this lack of demand and this lack of volume continues, Bitcoin will head down again. It will go down. It'll probably chop sideways for a bit and then also downtrend. And we could see a retest of the lows that we saw back in July. And that's a possibility. And I'd be bracing for that possibility. And if you guys are interested in hearing my latest thoughts, I always try to post my latest thoughts on Twitter. And go ahead and follow me on Twitter in order to get those. Now, for Ethereum has actually remained much stronger than Bitcoin. It's still fighting at this level at about 2,000, and right now it's having a hard time breaking out of that level still. It's going to be hard for Ethereum to break out of this point if Bitcoin's showing weakness, because they tend to move in sync with each other. So I'll be watching this as well. I'm not interested right now in adding to my Bitcoin or my Ethereum holdings, but I'm going to be waiting, and especially if we see a major breakdown in the Bitcoin price, I will definitely be ready to add on the dip. Okay, so the very first thing I want to talk about is crypto lender Hodlnaut files for breathing space creditor protection. Singapore-based crypto lender Hodlnaut has filed for judicial management, giving it more time to recover from its latest financial woes. And so you guys may recall, we've talked about Hodlnaut before on this program, and they had previously paused withdrawals, and now they filed for what they call judicial management. And so what judicial management is, they're going to have a third party come in and manage the company's finances until they can proceed with any sort of financial restructuring or figure out how they're going to save everyone's money and prevent the company from following the likes of Celsius and having to declare bankruptcy. So I'm very interested to see how this will eventually develop. I'll be looking for additional information, and if you guys are interested in that, be sure to check out my future videos, and if I find it, I will definitely put it in those videos. They have appointed this this guy right here, Chi Chong Tam, a former partner at Deloitte, Southeast Asia, and the current director of the Kairos Corporate Advisory, to take on the role of judicial manager. Okay, so the other side of getting this judicial management is that it will temporarily pause any legal claims against the firm. So now that will prevent people from trying to go in and make claims against the company and prepare and try to claw back any of those funds. And so now Hodlnaut essentially has protection against legal claims, at least temporarily. Now, they've said this pause will provide us with the breathing space to focus on our efforts on the recovery plan to rehabilitate the company. So they're trying to avoid what Celsius has gone through, and they're trying to avoid declaring bankruptcy. But for me, the way I interpret this is they're possibly one step away from declaring bankruptcy. And I'm not entirely sure about the Singaporean law and how that works exactly, but this might actually be a requirement before they declare bankruptcy. We'll have to see. I'm sure more information will come out later, and I'll be sure to cover it. Next, what to expect on Coinbase and other crypto exchanges during the Ethereum merge. All right, so Coinbase and other exchanges are pausing Ethereum and ERC20 withdrawals and deposits during the merge. That's something that's very important. That's something that many users aren't going to realize, is that when the merge actually happens, the Ethereum merge actually happens on about, I think it's going to be either the 15th, the 16th of September. Many of these crypto companies and exchanges are going to pause temporarily deposits and withdrawals of Ethereum and ERC20 tokens. Now, this is it is a very common measure to take while the network is in an upgrade. You don't want people trying to transact on the blockchain while you're upgrading the blockchain itself. So when this happens on the September 15th or 16th, at about a month away, just know that if you try to withdraw your tokens or you try to withdraw Ethereum on these crypto exchanges, you'll not be able to, and they will eventually, when the upgrade gets finished, they will allow you then to withdraw and deposit just as normal. Next, there is a reported $1.9 billion stolen in crypto hacks so far this year, according to CNN. And that is a pretty staggering number. 1.9, almost $2 billion worth of cryptocurrency stolen in hacks of various services in the first 7 months of the year, marking a 60% increase from the same period the year prior, according to a report released by the blockchain analysis firm Chainalysis. Now, this is not surprising to anybody who's paid attention to all the stories that I've covered. It feels like I talk about a major crypto hack every single week, but it also doesn't talk about, this article here doesn't talk about how much was actually clawed back from these hacks. So I don't expect that the entirety of this $1.9 billion is gone and lost forever. Some of these funds are actually recovered and returned to the places that had them stolen. So I just want to preface that by saying this, because this only tells half the story. The other half of the story is getting the money back, and I don't have a number on that. All I can tell you is that there is a reasonable amount of that money that's actually returned, and if I do find that amount, I'll make sure I include it in a later video. Now, they said there's one silver lining in the report. The amount of money lost in cryptocurrency scams, such as the $2 billion Ponzi scheme carried out by BitConnect founder Satish Kambrahani, sorry for butchering that, was 65% less than the year prior, as the falling value of crypto made it less enticing investment opportunity for potential victims. So the silver lining is everything's down so much, it's not as big as it normally would be if it were back during the bull market. if these hacks happen during the bull market. So I don't know if that's a nice silver lining. That's kind of funny and a little ironic, I guess. But I personally expect that as we see a greater adoption in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, that we're going to see more and more hacks. And a lot of these new protocols that come out, such as the bridges between blockchains, are going to need to be reinforced against hackers and people who can exploit the systems in order to withdraw money. So this is basically a trial by fire at this point. And the trial by fire is, how can we protect our blockchains and our dApps, our decentralized apps, from malicious actors? This is going to be a multi-year, multi-decade long kind of fight where developers are going to have to offer bug bounties and try and do everything they can do in order to establish and maintain the security of their blockchains. Honestly, the silver lining that they really should have hit on here and they didn't is the fact that when these blockchains and these protocols get hit, that exploit is no longer exploitable. That hack is no longer able to be done in the same manner. So they can come out with new hacks and everything, but at the end of the day, you're bolstering the resiliency of the blockchain or the decentralized protocol. All right, so that's all I've got for you guys today. If you like this content, please let me know. Please like and subscribe and follow me on Twitter. I greatly appreciate that. This is Cody the Coin Raptor signing out.